Dan Kuntz, wake you up in the morning. Dan Kuntz, wondering why you're snoring. Dan Kuntz, show's fun, not boring. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
I swear I deleted that file. I swear I found it and deleted it. We haven't used that in years. Well, so much about a five-star show. It's been shot to hell. It is Friday, the 10th day of May, 2024, and I'm Dan Kuntz. It's Down the Road We Go. Normally a five-star show. We're already at a four-star show, and we're only 30 seconds into the program. It is what it is. It's a beautiful day. It's 52 degrees. Gobs of good sunshine for everybody for the foreseeable future. Borderline hot today. Just plain hot for Saturday and Mother's Day. Probably not going to see a record high temperature on Saturday, a little below what they were predicting a couple of days ago for the afternoon high tomorrow, but it's going to be, summer's going to be busting out all over the place. A forecast that I think everybody is going to enjoy is coming up. It's going to be really hard to stay inside this weekend. Once again, the newsroom was hopping yesterday. We got a lot of news to touch on this Friday morning. Sports, the Mariners laid a big fat egg in Minneapolis yesterday. We'll have highlights, if you will, but they're back home. They got the A's in town for the weekend, and highlights of a very entertaining Eastmont Wenatchee boys soccer game last night. A lot on the line, like a possible trip to state between these two rivals. Our cameras were there. Highlights coming your way. Back half of the program, Jefferson Robbins had a chance to talk to an Eastmont High School graduate who done good. She graduated from Eastmont High School 20 years ago. Her name is Mary Smith. She is now the Poet Laureate of Spokane, and she's going to be doing some poem workshops, if you will, in conjunction with NCW Libraries today and tomorrow. Jefferson and his conversation with Mary, and Mike McNaughty is going to attempt to win friends and influence people with Mike's brand new opinion. It's all coming up. A couple of minutes after the hour, let's do our tour around the valley. I don't know what cameras we're using because we didn't preview them because Tucker's in the building and things kind of went cattywampus. He's usually not here at 7 a.m., so things are not quite lined up the way they should be. Just by looking at the camera, I'm guessing that's the Wenatchee Valley. Being born and raised here, I should probably know that. And it looks like, I'm informed now in my earpiece, that is, in fact, the Wenatchee Valley. Looks like the Columbia is up a little bit with the snow melt, obviously. There's still snow in the Cascades. It melts, and it's got to go somewhere. Looks like the Columbia is getting a little higher up on the banks. Camera 2, let's find out together. Lake Wenatchee, which doesn't really change its lake level much at all, but you can see how much snow is rescinded from the peaks there of the Cascades in the background, and of course the north face of Dirty Face Mountain. Beginning to see most of that snow dissipate. Good morning to Lake Wenatchee, placid, still, gorgeous up there, and of course now we're getting into mosquito season up at Lake Wenatchee. Just heads up on that if you're heading up there. Camera 3 is, well, Cougar Ridge. The Cougar Ridge camera looking at traffic. People heading over the Odobashian Bridge. Of course, a lot of people live in East Wenatchee, but they work in Wenatchee, so there you go there. Not a lot of traffic to talk about. Be sure to pack your sunglasses, though, on your morning commute. It can get a little gnarly at times. And camera 4. Gorgeous view of the Omi Garden camera looking back towards the Wenatchee Valley. We have that panned out about as far as it goes. I think still snow, obviously, up on the Clockham and Mission Ridge in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And it's still amazing how green the hills are. But they're going to start browning up big time as this warm streak heads our way. Quick little cool thing for you sky watchers out there. Check this out. This happened about 3 or 4 days ago at the sun, and now it's heading our way. It's a geomagnetic storm. It's called a coronal mass ejection, which is something I've always wanted to stay on television. A coronal mass ejection. Again, it happened about 2 or 3 days ago, but it takes a while to get here, and it will be here tonight, from about 8 o'clock to about 11 o'clock. Now, the sun's not going to go down to about 8:30, so if you really want to check these things out, and it looks like we have a good chance of getting it, you're going to have to wait until the skies are completely dark. That'd be closer to 9 anyway. So between 9 and about 11 to midnight tonight is the best time to check out this really cool phenomenon that we don't see too often, a geomagnetic storm, and it's going to make our skies look pretty cool tonight. Obviously, there won't be any cloud cover. So, again, here in our area, between 8 and 11, but it's still going to be sun up at 8, so more like 9 to about midnight. You might want to check that out. The geomagnetic storm sounds pretty cool to me. All right, from the National Weather Service, no complaints at all. Sunshine, warm, high of 84 degrees. For the record, yesterday we had 79. Our normal high is 70. We're liking that. Sunrise this morning, by the way, was at 5:30. Sunset tonight, as I already mentioned, 8:25. The sun will be at its highest point in the sky today at 12:57. 58 for the overnight low tonight, 88. I'm going to call that hot on Saturday, but we'll take it. It's going to feel hotter because we're just not used to the heat. 58 for the overnight low. Sunday, Mother's Day, a little cooler, little breezy on Sunday. A west wind about 7 to 10 miles an hour, not too bad. In fact, might even cool you off a little bit. But a gorgeous Mother's Day coming our way with a high of 86. And then things are going to change a little bit. The weather pattern for early next week is going to cool us down, but still lots of sunshine. The temperature is above normal throughout the course of the week. Look at that. Not a cloud in the sky for the forecast period all the way through Thursday of next week. It's going to be a beautiful stretch of weather, about as nice as it's going to get, or we can expect anyway. No complaints at all. 6 minutes after the hour, what made headlines on Thursday and even today for that matter. I'll have that for you in 2 minutes with the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The family at the Epplidolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epplidolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epplidolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epplidolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
The Lake Chelan Rotary Club invites you to experience Cycle Chelan, held each year on the 3rd Saturday in June. Pick your thrill from 3 rides: the Metric Century Challenge, Cycle Divino, or the Lake Loop. All profits from Cycle Chelan are used to support student scholarships and other charitable activities of the Lake Chelan Rotary Club. Cycle Chelan, a route for every rider. Pick your thrill today.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Sunshine and lots of it for everybody. Will be mid-80s today, upper 80s to close to 90 tomorrow. Little cooler on Mother's Day, sunshine across the board, nice light breeze, gorgeous weather. It's 8 minutes after the hour. The man who shot and killed 18-year-old Yair Flores of Wenatchee is going to go to prison for a long time, 23 years as a matter of fact. Markel Leon Ford fired a handgun twice through the window of Flores' bedroom back on August 12th of 2022, killing him while he lay asleep with his girlfriend. Ford pleaded guilty in March to 1 count of first-degree murder, and Chelan County Superior Court Judge Travis Brandt sentenced him on Wednesday to 280 months in prison. An accomplice in the killing, 29-year-old Javier Valdez, he pled guilty in November to first-degree murder as well as a stabbing attack on a Chelan County Jail corrections officer. Valdez is now serving 35 years. Wenatchee police believe Ford and Valdez killed Flores in a gang-related revenge scheme. A man sought for more than 2 years in an Okanagan County double homicide is going to be on national TV, but not the way you want to do it. The Manhunt documentary series In Pursuit with John Walsh will feature the case of Dylan Harrington. Harrington is being sought in the February 2022 killing of Dave and Geraldine Covey. Harrington is now 27 years old. He's believed to have murdered the couple during the course of a burglary. The Ponderay Police Department in North Idaho said in December that Harrington might be in their area. The U.S. Marshals Service is offering a $10,000 reward for anybody who can give them information leading to his capture. Anybody who can aid the investigation is asked to call 866-865-TIPS. The In Pursuit program will air next Wednesday on the Investigation Discovery Network. Just as the Wenatchee City Pool is getting ready to reopen after a $2 million renovation project, the Leavenworth City Pool is not going to open on schedule. They got some problems. The Howard Hopkins Memorial Pool needs urgent repairs to its liner before they can fill it full of water and get going. The Upper Valley Parks and Recreation Service area manages the pool, and they say it will likely have to hold off on the usual Memorial Day weekend opening. No new opening date has been announced, but any updates will be posted on the City of Leavenworth's website. Wenatchee High School softball players stopped by Triangle Park yesterday morning to check out the groundbreaking of what will be their brand new softball field. The team gathered for some pictures. They were joined by school administration and Wenatchee School Board members. The field construction began in late April. It's scheduled to be done in August. The field, of course, resolves a Title IX complaint that was filed against the district with the Office of Civil Rights, and the board set aside $4 million in 2022 for the facility. Superintendent Corey Callahar said a few words at the ceremony, and he also apologized on behalf of the district for how long it took for the girls to get a field of their own.
Today is a long time coming, and a chance for us to share this time with our student athletes and their families who will benefit from this complex. And for me, today symbolizes years, decades worth of advocacy from our local softball community paying off huge dividends. Today marks that occasion. That's why we're all here, so I'm very excited about that. As a district, I want to take the opportunity to apologize for our girls and our softball community that has taken us this long to get a varsity caliber field in place, but here we are. And so all of that work and that time and effort has paid off, and I want to move us into a time of celebration.
For $60 this weekend, you can find out exactly how smart you really are. This is a pretty cool deal. Mensa is coming back to the Wenatchee Valley for the first time in over 15 years. Of course, Mensa is a nationwide organization comprised of over 50,000 high IQ members. The local chapter is the Columbia River Mensa Society, and they're seeking new recruits, and they're going to hold a testing session at the Wenatchee Public Library. It's going to be tomorrow at 2 o'clock. The test costs $60 per person. If you're interested, you can register online. The test will take about 90 to 120 minutes to complete, and test takers must place in the top 2% to be eligible to become a member of Mensa. A lawsuit by two former employees accusing Chelan County of wrongful termination has been thrown out by a Douglas County judge. Kristen Larson and Angel Hallman saw their positions in the county's Community Development Department eliminated back in 2020, and they claimed it was in retaliation for their complaints against a male supervisor. Chelan County alleged that its auditor's office, headed by Skip Moore, was never served with an appropriate summons in the case as required by law. Douglas County Judge Brian Huber agreed, and on Wednesday he awarded summary judgment to Chelan County, and the case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning that it's done. It cannot be brought against the county a second time. And finally, Douglas County power users, you're going to see a little increase in how much you're going to pay for electricity, about $3 per month on your residential bill in the next 2 years. PUD commissioners voted on the increase Tuesday, citing the increases they foresee in power demands as more electric vehicles and bigger industrial customers come online and get on the grid. Besides residential rates, commercial customers can also expect an increase. That's going to be about $6.40 per month. Right now, the PUD sells excess power from Wells Dam to subsidize local customers, but that may change as demand goes up. The increased billing goes into effect January 1st of 2026 and remains in effect until 2030. And that's the news on this Friday. One more newscast to get you going on the weekend. We'll have it for you at 5 o'clock 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock right here on television, 5, 6, and 10. If you're like to watch the news when it's on TV, a lot of people, it just doesn't work on their busy schedule. So we have it up and running on the World Wide Web. Our evening news with Grant Olson and Eric Granstrom will be on our Facebook page, our homepage, and CWLife.com. It'll be in our YouTube page. It'll be in our app. If you haven't downloaded our app yet, you can do it right there. Just pick up your smartphone and QR away. And if there's something out there that you think is newsworthy, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Mariners, Eastmont Wenatchee soccer. Everything sports related is coming your way in 2 minutes. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Let nothing stand between you and the tree stand with this great offer on the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick. Featuring a gas-powered engine that delivers a top speed of 40 miles per hour, outstanding acceleration and handling with cargo, and a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get the Sidekick now for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months or save $1,000.
I chose Pinnacles because they give you a lot of opportunities for really fun field trips and activities.
It's a smaller school, so you feel more connected to other people.
My favorite thing about Pinnacles is definitely how we got to choose our elective.
I learn at my own speeds. It's a place where people can be who they want to be, and they show that by using their epic values.
We choose Pinnacles because the staff is accepting.
Hey man, how's your arm?
Getting better, actually, thanks.
Did they give you anything for pain after surgery? Because I think I may have some left over.
Nah, that's all right, man. Actually, me and my doctor talked about not sharing prescriptions, and that ibuprofen is a good option for me. The risk of addiction is not worth it.
Makes sense.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions, and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
Culinary Apple is North Central Washington's premier kitchen store with everything you need to elevate your own culinary experience.
For the most unique wine tasting experience in the Chelan Valley, visit One Wines. Popular for being the smallest and most intimate facility in the valley, it features one red, one white, and one rosé. Complex wines, simple elegance.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
18 minutes after the hour in sports, the Twins scored 5 runs in the first inning and they coasted. From there, they blew out the Mariners 11-1 yesterday in Minneapolis. Logan Gilbert walked the very first batter on 4 pitches. He allowed 5 hits to the first 8 Twins batters.
Gilbert has been a ground ball pitcher this season. Line drive, right side, base hit, right field. Julian will score. Lardick makes second. Twins take a 1-0 lead. A career-high 11-game hitting streak now for Max Kepler.
That breaks up the string of doubles, but it drives in a run, so I think he'll take it.
Pulled fair down the left field line. Lardick is in. Kepler will score. Miranda has the green light. He will round. He will head home, and he will score. Manuel Margot's biggest hit as a Twin so far clears the bases. And the Twins have a 4-0 lead here in the opening inning. Santana hitless in this series. Until now, base hit right center. Margot is in. 5-0 in the first.
The Twins have taken advantage of those balls that have been in the zone. A lot of hard contact, just putting together good at-bats, taking what he gives you, working through the big part of the field. One guy feeding off another, and when you're rolling like an offense like this, it really is that old cliche, hitting is contagious.
Out towards right center field for a base hit. Haniger's coming around third and scores standing. Luke Raley with 2 outs puts the Mariners on the board in the second inning. 5-1 Twins.
He struck him out, and this one is over.
Manager Scott Service said after the game it was a bad game, and it was quite frankly a bad series.
We didn't deserve to even be in the game. We didn't play a good game, obviously. Really all series. The Twins outplayed us. They did. They swung the bat better. They pitched better. They executed better. Now you're hoping that Logan comes out and gives us a chance in the game. He just, from the leadoff walk, you look up, stolen base, and then they got things rolling. And, not much to say other than, they beat us bad in this game. We've had on a really good run here. Like we'd won 6 series in a row before this one. We have to wash this one away. We just didn't play good baseball here, even though we did win 1 game in this series. And again, there's a number of reasons for it. But, the thing that we rely so heavily on is our starting pitching, hoping as we get our offense going. But, it was a struggle all series for us. So, again, got to let it go, got to wipe it away. We got home, big homestand there with Oakland coming in, and they're playing really good, and Kansas City behind them. So we'll have our work cut out of us for us here, but it'll be good to get home. But disappointing series. We knew the Twins were hot when we came in here, and other than the 1 game, we got some big hits late. We really didn't do much to cool them down.
Seattle returns home tonight to begin a 3-game series against the A's. Brian Wu is off the injured list. He'll have his first start of the year tonight. The first pitch is at 6:40. All right, to the American League West scoreboard. Your standings, you can see the Mariners, after losing 3 of 4 to Minneapolis, are now a game and a half behind the Rangers for the lead in the American League West, and you see where everybody else falls behind. Houston just got by the Yankees. The final was 4-3. Kansas City dispatched the Angels 10-4. Well, what a game last night. Eastmont and Wenatchee meeting on the pitch for the 3rd time this season with a lot on the line, a possible trip to state. Both goalkeepers were brilliant. 1 goal from the Wildcats early in the second half was the difference.
It's a penalty kick. Edgar Leon himself. Right-footed shot. Leon the shot and the stop! Tanner Russell coming up huge. Golden opportunity by the wayside for the Eastmont Wildcats and Tanner Russell.
Sure, that's out without touching it.
Arredondo. Defensive header doesn't quite work. A good opportunity for Aaron Leon. Left-footed shot. Goal, 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 goal! A miscue on the back line of Wenatchee. I believe it was Landeros who tried to head it, and instead it became almost a pass to Aaron Leon, who then cleared a path and delivered a nice shot from the left side.
I'd be surprised if this 1-0 stands.
Punched away by Arredondo. Cleared away by the back line of Eastmont. The shot from way outside, and Arredondo, does he manage to keep it in bounds? The referee, assistant referee, said no. Heel touch. And they have Chilena! My goodness, that almost tricked everybody.
Is a product of communities that...
the shot and the diving stop by Arredondo. Could be the last best try.
Probably.
For the Panthers.
I'm confused why Tanner's not up in the action right now.
Yeah, he's at midfield.
Midfield is one, but just bring him into the box. I mean,
what do you got to lose, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shani Vega. And now there's Tanner. Everybody in white is inside at least the D. There's the shot. Bounces off the one-man wall. Oh, my goodness. The keeper's way out of position. Oh, good stuff by Edgar. Another try. The long ball now. That's not going to hurt him. And that's the game. That is the game. Eastmont has vanquished its biggest rival in dramatic fashion. 1-0. What was the mentality going in facing a team that you know so well when the stakes are this high?
I think it comes down to who wants it more. We've been ready at practice. We've been playing really hard at practice, and our mentality is there. We want to, and we don't want to. We want to keep on playing and not let her see the end here quite yet.
I think we're just really grateful to be given another shot. We had our ups and downs, but we eventually came back and got back in form and finished the game.
What is something that you would take away from a contest that was so hard fought, so physical as today?
The intensity in which we play, I would say I take that away. These games are not always clean, but I can't complain about the effort that they gave, the attitude that they provided, the intensity in which they chased the ball, fought for a ball, recovered. We got players that put in a lot of miles in the game, and so it shows that we have 80-minute players, which is required in this level of our season, or this time of our season. So I take away that we're capable of more.
So for the Eastmont Wildcats, they have one more shot of making it to state. They will take on the Davis Pirates in Yakima at 1 o'clock on Saturday. If they win, they'll be one of the 16 teams to go to state in the 4A tournament. Of course, Wenatchee season came to an end as you see Sunnyside knocked off Davis for the District 6 championship, 1-0. So the soccer schedule looks something like this. It'll be a big Saturday leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. First of all, at 2 o'clock, it's Cashmere taking on Bridgeport in the District 6 AB playoffs. The winner is moving on, and the loser is done for the season. And then it doesn't matter who wins against Cascade and Quincy. Both teams have guaranteed a slot in the state tournament, but Cascade and Quincy will do battle at 4 o'clock for the championship. Keep in mind, the Cascade Kodiaks have not lost a match all year. To baseball we go. Okanagan joins Liberty Bell in the state 2B tournament. Liberty Bell already punched their ticket a couple of days ago. To state, Okanagan will be there as well as they knocked off Brewster. The final there was 6-4. The baseball schedule today in the Central Washington 1B District Tournament in a winner to state loser out game. Moses Lake Christian will take on Riverside Christian at 4:30 this afternoon. In the District 6 4A tournament, the championship at Larson Field in Moses Lake. The Eastmont Wildcats and the Moses Lake Mavericks at 5 o'clock. This will be a good one. We shall see. And in the District 6 1A tournament, Saturday in Ephrata, in baseball, it is Chelan against Cashmere in a loser-out game. Quincy will take on Omak as well. And then make sure I get this right, the Chelan Cashmere's winner to state, the loser will play the winner of the Quincy Omak game in baseball. Did you get all that? Let's move on to softball today. These are double elimination games. First of all, in the regular season, they wrap up the regular season. Wenatchee will be at Sunnyside in a doubleheader at 3 o'clock. Moses Lake will be at the Sterling Fourplex at 3 o'clock. That wraps up the regular season. The Big Nine, their tournament is next week. In the District 6 2B tournament, it's Brewster at Okanagan and Tenasket at Lake Roosevelt. Both games at 4:30. That's a double elimination tournament. So you're not out even if you lose. And finally, softball tomorrow in the CWAC District Tournament. It is Ephrata at East Valley and Sela at Othello. Again, that's double elimination. Even if you lose, you're still alive, and Omak will be at Cascade in a doubleheader to wrap up the Caribou Trail League at 11 a.m. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 10th day of May. Happy, I don't know if it's happy or not. If you're the parents of a teenage daughter, the odds are her bedroom looks something like this. It's National Clean Up Your Room Day today, and yes, I shouldn't, I associate it with messy teenage girls. I was pretty messy myself. I have a tendency to still be a little messy. Yeah, National Clean Up Your Room Day, and that applies for parents too, by the way. Some fun cleaning tips for you. Antibacterial cleaners, Lysol, whatever it is that you buy, they got to be on the surface for at least 60 seconds to have any real effectiveness to it. Scientists have found over 3,000 different types of bacteria just on money. Just on money. Ugh. I wonder what it's on your card, because you hand the card to the waitress or whatever. I wonder how much is on that. It's estimated that half the people who use a public toilet don't wash their hands when they're done. That crazy. The salmonella can live on surfaces up to 24 hours, heads up on that. And this interesting statistic, the average man will spend about 6,000 hours of his lifetime cleaning. The average man will spend about 6,000 hours of his lifetime cleaning. The average woman will spend about 12,000 hours cleaning, for whatever it's worth. Clean up your room day today, or don't get it messy in the first place. Might be the better way to go. It's 29 minutes after the hour. Today in history, Louis XVI and his lovely wife Marie Antoinette became the King and Queen of France on this date in 1774. He was the last king, she was the last queen. He was 19, she was 18. This is not going to end very well for them. And about 15 years or so, but they got the gig. The last king and queen went to the throne in France on this date in 1774. Good for the French for deciding that they don't really need a monarchy after all. 223 years ago, the Barbary War. The Barbary pirates of Tripoli and the United States and Sweden go to war. U.S. and Sweden on one side, Tripoli, Algiers, Tunisia, and Morocco on the other side. What was going on? The Barbary states were basically seizing American merchant ships. This is in 1801, seizing American merchant ships and then holding the crew hostage for money. And Thomas Jefferson said, "Ain't gonna pay you no hostage, Barbary states," and he sent the Navy over to get the sailors back. We won, and it was more than that. It was the first real international naval encounter for the United States, which proved to the rest of the world that we mean business. We have a Navy, and if we need to go to the Barbary states to defend our people and our property, we'll do it. And it was the first war after the Revolutionary War that the United States fought as the United States of America and not a bunch of individual militias from individual states. It was our first real national war after we became a nation. By the way, we won, in case you're curious, 223 years ago today. The Golden Spike went into the ground 128 years ago today, changed transportation in America forever. The first transcontinental railroad, the eastern and western United States, is linked at Promontory Summit, Utah, with the famous Golden Spike. The Union Pacific built to the east, the Central Pacific built to the west. They met in central Utah, drove in the Golden Spike, and now you can go all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast on a train. No more wagon trains. And a lot more comfortable and a lot faster. History made on this date in 1869. 116 years ago today, her name was Anna Jarvis. She organized the very first Mother's Day. It was held on this date at the Andrews Methodist Church in Grafton, West Virginia. She chose May 10th because it was right around the anniversary of the death of her beloved mother. She chose the carnation as the official flower of Mother's Day because it was her mother's favorite flower. As time passed, however, Anna Jarvis got rather upset with Mother's Day. She never profited from Mother's Day, and she got really sick and tired of the floral business and the greeting card business and all those people getting on board and making money off of a holiday that she came up with just to honor the memory of her mother. In fact, at one point, Anna Jarvis tried to get Mother's Day rescinded, but by that point, it was too late. Anna Jarvis died, an old woman, in a sanatorium. She had no money. Her medical bills and her funeral expenses were paid for by the floral and greeting card industries. Anna Jarvis, who founded Mother's Day on this date 116 years ago today, never married and never had children. The first Mother's Day in West Virginia on this date 116 years ago today. This is the 100th anniversary of that guy getting the gig. On this date in 1924, J. Edgar Hoover is appointed the head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I read the book G-Man last year. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Best Biography. It is an outstanding book about J. Edgar Hoover, one of the best biographies I've ever read, and I've read a couple hundred of them. He wasn't all bad, but he had a lot of problems. The first thing he did as the head of the FBI when he got the job 100 years ago today, he fired all the FBI female agents. I will have no female agents with the FBI. He also banned the future hiring of female agents. He eventually got over that. J. Edgar Hoover, 100 years ago today. The phony war came to an end on this date in 1940. The phony war was kind of a nickname. Of course, Germany invaded Poland in September of 1939. They overran Poland. They already had a big chunk of Czechoslovakia and Austria, and so World War II was underway. Germany invades Poland. Great Britain and France declares war on Germany in 1939, and then nothing happened. It just kind of stopped. October, November, December, into January, into February, into March, into April, and finally on May 10th, 1940, Adolf Hitler said, "Oh yeah, we're at war." And away they went. Germany invades France. They invade Belgium. They invade Luxembourg. Neville Chamberlain got fired. Winston Churchill took over. Everything changed when the phony war came to an end, and we were back fighting again after a long lull. May 10th, 1940. And happy birthday to the Betamax On this date in 1979, 49 years ago today, Sony rolls out the Betamax, a home video recorder for your home. It was very expensive. It was also very high quality. Now, we had a Betamax when I was growing up. We had a choice, you know, what are we going to get? We got one in the 70s. Beta or VHS? Well, Beta had higher quality. It was better made. It had better sound. It had better picture. It was much better from a format standpoint for quality than VHS was, but VHS was cheaper. And people take a look at the price of the Betamax, which was a Sony exclusive product, and then they took a look at the VHS, which was made by all kinds of different companies, JVC, Zenith, Toshiba, and they went with VHS. Betamax would lose the format war, but you could go to your local electronics store and buy a Betamax on this day. It's going to cost you a lot of money. We had a Betamax. I wish I still had it. It was pretty cool to have. The Betamax rolls out in 1975. And finally, birthdays. Paul Hewson celebrates birthday. Happy birthday, Paul. You may know him as Bono, the lead singer of U2. He is 63 years old today. Helio Castroneves. In a couple of weeks, he's going to try to become the first 5-time winner of the Indy 500. 4 drivers have won the Indy 500 4 times. Helio Castroneves of Brazil is one of them. He's 49 years old today. And happy birthday to Kenan Thompson. What up with that? 46 years old. He has been a cast member of Saturday Night Live since 2003, longest tenured cast member in history. The first cast member to join Saturday Night Live, who was born after the show debuted. He's done 139 celebrity impressions. He's been in about 1,600 skits. And he's still going strong. Kenan Thompson is 46 years old today. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. This weekend, you're going to find out real quick if your air conditioner works, because it's going to get hot. And if it doesn't, give them a call, because they're the pros for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. This weekend, you might be thinking about getting a swimming pool. You know, you might want to give Pool to Spa Services a call. Can you help me out? And don't forget, they got the chemicals, too, if you already have a pool. And special thanks to our friends at Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista, both the Wenatchee main campus and in East Wenatchee. Mike Magnotti is going to win friends and influence people with his brand new opinion. And then Jefferson Robbins had a chance to talk to a local poet who's made good. Her name is Mary Smith. You're going to like that visit. It's coming up as well. Be watching the Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I think we already have the legendary pizza, really, and I hope it just continues.
We have a free pizza slip. We get free pizzas, and if something happened to Abby's, we wouldn't have free pizza anymore. Think about that, huh?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Every day is Taco Tuesday at Abby's. Our Taco Especial is on sale 7 days a week, loaded with beef or chicken, onions, olives, tomatoes, cheddar cheese, and lettuce. It's a pizza that you won't forget. Dine in or order online for takeout or delivery right to your door.
Hi, folks. Welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chair on the other side. You can use this one.
Great. I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Headaches, neck or back pain? Been injured in a car accident, a work injury, or fall? Studies show that whiplash causes pain year after year. Your neck is supposed to be curved and acts like a spring to absorb shock. But when it's damaged, it straightens or reverses, and this causes headaches and pain. The solution is our specialized comprehensive combination care. You need our team of professionals who will address every point of your injury with very specific equipment and skill. Stop by Wenatchee or Leavenworth for a free consultation.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents The Magic of Manson.
Spring is here at the Chelan Ridge Winery. Check out the all-new deck area, enjoy an amazing view, new vintage wines, and that down-home hospitality Chelan Ridge is famous for.
Wine Girl Wines is already famous for wine, beer, and great entertainment. And now they have added craft cocktails to the list of food and drink, so pop on by our Manson location for some good old-fashioned fun.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
Now, in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie says we should be willing to admit when we're wrong. There's no shame in being wrong. And sometimes, Carnegie says, if we could only guarantee that we will be right only 51% of the time, we can go to Wall Street and get rich. Now, I try to remember that, and I try to be willing to admit when I've been wrong about something. Now, for example, I thought I had made a mistake yesterday, but I later realized that I hadn't. Okay? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care, they speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local, because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
You have lived in the Spokane area for about a dozen years, but you have connections to Wenatchee, is that right?
Yes, it is. Proud Wildcat. I graduated 2004 from East Wenatchee and was born there, raised there, grew up there. Yeah, it's home.
Do you, when you were growing up here, was poetry having something that had a place in your life, or was it something you discovered, you know, as you grew to adulthood, as you found yourself in different places?
Poetry's always been a part of my life. I was binding my own chapbooks from a very young age, you know, staplers and tape and twine. I had a wonderful teacher at Eastmont High School too that just really encouraged and helped influence my writing as an actual craft. I would always I wouldn't have ever considered myself a poet. I just knew that I liked poetry. And having a teacher that said, this is something, you know, and I can't wait to see what you do with it, definitely encouraged me to look at it more as a skill and a craft, something that I could work on and get better at. And yeah, but it's always been a part of my life. And definitely now it's fun because it's my real job.
Who was your teacher at Eastmont?
Matt Cadman.
We know Mr. Cadman pretty well here.
He is such a gem. I know he's recently moved, but I know he's been such a great part of the community for a lot of people like me who had his class, and then also, you know, all the work that he did with the theater community. He's wonderful, and he really opened my eyes to poetry through Walt Whitman's work and Langston Hughes. I remember those were the first poems that I listened to where I thought, wow, like something that can transcend time, you know, and still be true.
How is the Spokane Poet Laureate position chosen? Did you apply for it?
I did apply for it. Every year, every 2 years is the term. You fill out an application, you apply that way, and then there's a board of folks that sit on the Spokane Arts Board of Commissions, and they have the tough job of picking one out of the applicants. And I had seen the qualifications for applying in years past, and I never really qualified. And this time around, I applied in August. I looked at that list of what would make someone qualified for the position, and I realized I had come to a place in my own journey with poetry that I could put my name in the hat. Not confidently. I was definitely shocked when I was offered the position, and I'm thrilled and honored, but it felt like a turning point in my own life to say, I have enough respect for the work that I've done in the community here with poetry to say, yes, I think I would be a great candidate. I think I would be good at this.
And so what is the job of Poet Laureate once you've been selected? I mean, how do you use the office to try and, bring poetry to people where they live?
Well, I think that kind of calls back to what I was just discussing with, like, what qualifies me for the position. Because really the role of Poet Laureate in any case, because we have a Washington State Poet Laureate, much like we have a nation's Poet Laureate, everyone is going to have their own sort of mission statement around that, and really the role is sort of in general to bring awareness and accessibility to poetry. For me in particular, what I've wanted to do is to bring poetry into spaces that we wouldn't normally consider poetic. I've specifically been targeting areas and communities that we wouldn't think of as poetry influenced. Treatment centers, women and children homes, a lot of recovery-based areas, and then elementary schools, middle schools, bringing those workshops that I created into those places and saying, even if you don't consider or think of yourself as a poet or as a writer or even as someone who would say, I'm creative, I would challenge that and say, I think you are. You're a living, breathing being, so therefore, in my eyes, in my experience, you are a creative.
Can you talk about how a poem comes into form for you? Is it something that sort of comes upon you involuntarily, or do you sit down with the intent, I'm going to be writing from 8 to 4 in the day? How does it happen?
Both. And that's the cool part about poetry, is it's a lot of and both. Since I've become the Poet Laureate, I've had this great, amazing opportunity to work as a commissioned poet. So I have organizations that reach out to me and say, will you write something on behalf of the YWCA? Will you write something on behalf of, I just got to open the opening ceremonies for the World's Fair 50th anniversary for Spokane Expo. Incredible opportunity. Prior to being asked to do that, I had no knowledge of the history of that event. So I got to research, talk to folks, look over articles, and I wrote a poem based off that. And that's using, just some facts, and then how those facts might be perceived by me as a specific person and poet. But a lot of my work, and the work I have with me today, Crumbs, is just born out of a need to write and a need to make something beautiful out of the things that, scare me and make me sad and cause me fear. I want to use those things and regenerate them for something good, and I do that a lot with poetry.
What are the obstacles to writing a poem? I mean, what kind of things hold you up or give you hesitation or just make it more difficult to get the words onto the page?
I have 4 kids, So that is the biggest obstacle for me, is having enough time, literally, and space physically. As you can see, I'm in my car. I don't have a home office. I have a lap and a kitchen table, and that's where I spend a lot of my time being creative and writing. And then the other real issue, I think, for not just for me, but poets like me, is that we have to consider the fact that the truth may hurt somebody's feelings. The truth of what we're experiencing may not be the popular opinion. And so I think that's always been the obstacle for me, is just realizing that I'm going to write something and somebody might not like it. And is it worth it at that point? Yeah, I think that would be the obstacles, are the real life, circumstances. And then this other one of living in the world and perceiving it in a way that's public.
Did workshops like the ones that you're going to be hosting here in Kashmir and Wenatchee, did workshops help you to sort of gain traction on your art form? Did you learn ways to approach your own material?
I did. That was really the turning point for me. Was 6 years ago, 6 or 7 now. Mark Anderson was the Poet Laureate of Spokane, and he was putting on a workshop, 6-week workshop, inside of his living room. And what had been a small writing group between just me and a friend of mine turned into attending this workshop for 6 weeks. And it was excruciating. It was painful. I was sitting in a room full of people who had MFAs, who were active, college pursuing MFAs, what I would consider heavy-hitting poets and writers. And I was a full-time stay-at-home mom who, 45 minutes ago had baby throw up in my hair, and I felt so out of my league. And it grew in me a place of resilience that was like, I'm just gonna write poetry. And I gave myself permission to write really bad poetry. And I still keep that as a rule of mine. I am allowed to write really bad poems, and sometimes I get good ones. But yes, workshops are incredible. I take as many as I can, because I never ever want to think I've arrived. I never want to think, oh, I've got it. There's so many great tools and applications that we can learn from, and then also just the community of being with other people who, like me, have to write for it to make sense.
What can people expect from your workshops? I mean, what kind of inputs or exercises might they gain?
Well, I think the thing that I have, and I often open with this with my workshops, is that I have an incredible gift of having the courage to look, and then the courage to stay and not look away. So when people come and they're going to bear their heart and soul in these workshops, because that's really what they are intended and created to be, is a time to share and to be part of at a level that we don't necessarily get inside a regular sort of classroom or workshop setting. I teach workshops and facilitate and host much like I'm doing right here with you. Like, it's a very intimate experience, because I come with my whole heart out there trying to inspire people by putting myself out in a way that it's really the only way I know how to anymore, is just here's all of it. Here's what I think about grieving the loss of my brother. Here's what I think about having a special needs child. Here's what I really think about, this or that. And so we have lively discussions. We have, sharing around why people are there and why they feel drawn to it. And generally, it's coming from a place of tenderness, whether that's loss or whether that's great love. It's coming from a really tender place. And then the other thing that people can expect is to generate writing, and that comes from not being a skilled, proficient poetry student, but just being in the room. You will get an opportunity to write and generate new work and maybe surprise yourself. I think a lot of people have left my workshops feeling surprised by the fact that they made something and that it connected with somebody else in the room.
Mary, do you have a reading of your own work that you'd like to share with us today?
I do. This is from my chapbook, my very first and only chapbook to date, but I'm working on making that different. This is a work of poetry from Kuntz, and it is called 3 Poems About Being Mad at a Drug Addict Who You Also Happen to Love Endlessly. 1. I ate the last bowl of honey bunches of oats today, the last lingering taste of your existence. Crumbs. I ate the last of you. 2. Inside jokes. Such a shame to see them go to waste like that. 3. You've managed to ruin the simplest of pleasures. Iced tea, potato chips, the World Wrestling Foundation. Thanks for having me, Jefferson.
Thank you, Mary Smith from inside the Poetry Mobile, Spokane Poet Laureate. Friday, May 10th at the Kashmere Public Library and Saturday, May 11th at the Wenatchee Public Library are your workshops. People can register for those to join at ncwlibraries.org. And they can also, I think we mentioned earlier, pick up a copy of Crumbs, the chapbook, if you don't run out.
Ah, that would be great if I ran out.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
My favorite thing about living at Prestige is the activities. I think it's just so good for you to have a group that you can have fun with.
I think if you keep moving and you have a social life, you're going to live longer. And that attitude is fostered by the activity director and the managers. It's a good place, it's a happy place, and it's where I plan to stay forever.
Me too.
When it comes to plumbing, you are likely not the expert. Call After Hours Plumbing. When your laundry room is just a little too tight and you need to expand or remodel, call After Hours Plumbing. Or your hot water heater needs replacing so everyone can have hot water? Call After Hours Plumbing, your local plumbing contractor ready for your home remodels or your commercial business.
All right, almost ready to start our weekend. Before we do so, that all-important weather forecast. But before we get to this, we talked about this at the start of the show. Something really cool, or maybe scary, if you will, happened to the sun a couple of days ago. They had what they call a coronal mass ejection. And I checked, and I can say coronal mass ejection on television without jeopardizing our FCC license. Basically what that means is that geomagnetic storm is heading our way, and tonight you might be able to see it. They say you can actually see the aurora as far south as Alabama. That's not bad at all. We may see it right here in the Wenatchee Valley, so keep an eye on the skies tonight. You're going to have to wait, of course, until the sun actually goes down and it's dark enough, and that's not going to happen until about 8:30 tonight. From the National Weather Service, here we go. 84 our afternoon high, warmest day of the year so far, by far. It's going to be gorgeous. Lots of sunshine on Saturday. We're backing off that high temperature. We're thinking maybe lower 90s, maybe right around 88. So we're going to be close to a record high. The record high on Saturday the 11th is 92. That was set back in 1993. I don't think we're going to get there. A lovely day on Sunday for Mother's Day with a high of 86. A little cooler, but lots of sunshine into the early part of next week. Have yourself a great weekend. Take us along. We're portable. We'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to Network TV, episode 7 of our 11th season here on NCW Live Channel. I'm David Mabee, your host and the marketing director at NCW Tech Alliance. At NCW Tech, we're passionate about uniting technology and community to foster innovation, support entrepreneurs, and enhance STEM education across North Central Washington. Our goal is to ensure our region remains a vibrant hub of technology and growth. Today, we're honored to have Craig Larson with us, a veteran in economic development with over 20 years of experience in North Central Washington. Craig recently took the helm as the executive director of North Central Washington Economic Development District, or EDD, a key organization dedicated to supporting startups, small businesses, and the smaller communities within Chelan, Douglas, and Okanogan counties, as well as the Colville Confederated Tribes. Craig's extensive background includes significant roles